Namaste, seekers and sadhakas. Welcome to Darklight Energetics. My name is Jeet Sharma, and today I'm going to share a wonderful tale of wisdom about Swami Nityananda of Shri Ganeshpuri Kshetra, that is near Mumbai. And this is a question, as in what exactly is Avadhuta. Swami Nityananda spoke, and the answer he gave left everyone speechless. He said, "This place is fire. No one can dare to sit on it, for they will be reduced to ashes. To reach this state, countless lifetimes are needed. This is the state of Avadhuta." Then he added, "Only those who have desires create successors, accept disciples, build organization, and make lineages of disciples. This one has no desire, and so there are no disciples." That was his answer. But now the real question is, what exactly is the state of Avadhuta? Why does it take countless lifetimes to attain the state of Avadhuta? This very mystery we will explore today through the words of Shri Bhagwan himself, Shri Nityananda himself, from his Chidakasha Gita, and through the two miracles he performed before his devotees. Shri Bhagwan Nityananda never gave sermons. He never taught scriptures to disciples. His great teaching was silence, and his presence. But between 1924 and 1926, at Managuda in Mangalore, in a state of deep meditation, words would flow from his lips. A devoted follower, Tulsi Amma, would write those words down in Kannada. Those words were compiled into a text. Today it is well famous as Chidakasha Gita, which means consciousness. Akasha means infinite, void. Chidakasha means infinite sky of supreme consciousness, the boundless sky of supreme consciousness. This scripture is not for the intellect. It is for the fire of the heart. And it is for those who are following the heart, not for the one who are completely logical. And it is this very text that Shri Bhagwan Nityananda has defined the Avadhuta, not in the words, but in the miracles. In the 1920s, near the Kurla pipeline in Mumbai, Bhagwan Nityananda was often found. There would regularly come Raghunath Shenoy, every time bringing food for Shri Bhagwan. One day, sitting under the shade of a tree, the miracle of the leaf defining the Avadhuta happened. So, Shri Bhagwan asked, "Do you know what an Avadhuta is?" Shenoy humbly said, "No, my lord, I only know you." Shri Bhagwan smiled, plucked a leaf from a nearby branch, and from the broken tip of the leaf, a white milky sap began to drip. And then Shri Bhagwan placed that leaf back in the same spot. The leaf rejoined as if it had never broken. Shri Bhagwan said, "This is the Avadhuta. He can break and he can join. Creation and destruction, both at the same time. He is beyond even the Devatas, because the Devatas can either create or destroy. Both powers together are not in them." Now understand, when Shri Bhagwan says this state is the fire, what fire is he speaking of? That fire is the fire of all power, which holds both creation and destruction together simultaneously, which both breaks and creates the laws of nature. Can any ordinary successor hold this fire? No. The second incident is at Kailash, at ashram of Kailash in Ganeshpuri. Indutai and her sister were present. Bhagwan was seated on his seat. The fly reborn. Death and life are one. This was the second lesson. A large fly came and sat on the nearby pillow. Without saying a word, Shri Bhagwan caught it and separated into pieces. Head apart, torso apart, legs apart, wings apart. Both sisters trembled with fear. Shri Bhagwan laughed. Then he raised his long index finger, singing an unknown song. He started singing that song, and he began moving his finger slowly in circles over those particles or the pieces. And before their eyes, the pieces began to pull together, began to join, and within moments, the fly was whole again, alive, and it flapped its wings and flew away. But this was not a miracle. This was a living proof of Avadhuta philosophy. Birth and death, which seem to us as two separate realities, are for the Avadhuta the two sides of the same coin. Now let us come to that verse from Chidakasha Gita, which ties both these miracles and Bhagwan's answer into one thread. Chidakasha Gita. Second verse, 52. Neither is the body born, this shore and beyond, nor does the body dissolve. The one supreme doer is the same, one who brings the breath when a person takes birth here. That same breath he takes with him at the time of death. Wealth and fame belong only here. There, all is one. Duality exists here. Beyond that, there is no duality. A realized being is an Avadhuta. Avadhuta is the highest among beings. Yogis and renunciants desire some spiritual attainment. They desire some spiritual goals to achieve. The Avadhuta desires nothing. Here Shri Bhagwan makes it clear, the yogi performs austerities for some power. The renunciant renounces for liberation. But the Avadhuta needs neither power nor liberation. He has already attained that supreme state. And when there is no desire at all, then there is no need for a successor either. Now understand why countless lifetimes are needed to reach this state. The mind dissolves desire by desire, birth by birth. First gross desires, then subtle ones. Then even the desire for liberation or mukti. And in the last birth, even the desire to attain dissolves. That what remains is the Avadhuta state. Now one thing becomes clear, why in history Avadhutas have never appointed successors. Lord Dattatreya, who is considered an eternal avatar, had no successor. Ashtavakra, before whose wisdom even King Janaka bowed his head, he created no throne, because the Avadhuta is not a position. It is not a designation. The Avadhuta is a state of being. A position can be given to somebody, a designation can be designated to somebody, but a state of being cannot. Shri Bhagwan further said, the Avadhuta has no guru, no disciple, no religion, no sect, no caste, no lineage. He is not bound by any philosophy. The Avadhuta is free, complete in himself. He needs nothing from anyone, free from guru, disciple, tradition, guru, shishya, parampara. He is actually free or beyond that. Because he himself is the source of knowledge, free from religion and sect because he is beyond all the religions. Free from caste and lineage because he is the soul. He is not the body. Free from philosophy because he himself is the truth. And here is another deep point. Saints who choose successors, build organizations, establish traditions, they are great. Their contribution is invaluable. But Shri Bhagwan is saying that this too is a form of subtle desire. The desire to carry forward one's teachings, one's own legacy, one's name. And this one, the Avadhuta, wants none. In verse 4 of Chidakasha Gita, Shri Bhagwan says, just as camphor merges into fire and becomes fire itself, similarly the mind must merge into the fire of the soul. When the mind itself is no more, where will the desire come from? And if there is no desire, there is no successor either. Now a question naturally arises in the mind of the devotees, and rightly so. If Shri Bhagwan Nityananda never made any disciple, then who were Baba Muktananda, Gyanananda Swami, Lalita Mauli, Shaligram Swami? Who were they all? Now let us understand this through an example. The sun never chooses a flower and says, turn towards me. The sun simply shines, but the sunflower, through its own worthiness and practice, turns towards that light and becomes filled with sun's energy. Understand this very clearly. So did the sun make a disciple in this? No. Formally, no. But did the sun's radiance enter that flower? Yes. Absolutely. This was exactly the relationship between Shri Bhagwan Nityananda and these great souls. Bhagwan Muktananda himself used to say that Bhagwan gave him Shaktipat. But this was no formal initiation. It was a grace event. Shri Bhagwan had not chosen him. In the presence of Shri Bhagwan's fire, like being, Muktanand Baba's consciousness itself became ignited. And the same is equally true for Gyanananda Swami, Lalita Mauli and Shaligram Swami. Here two things must be understood. Making a disciple means I choose you. You are the carrier of my tradition. This Bhagavan never did. But bestowing grace, anugraha, that means a ray of what I am, fell upon you and you were transformed. This is where exactly Shri Swami Nityananda always says, you automatically create a guru. A guru creates guru. There is no difference between guru and disciple as well. Of course, to some level, when we are speaking, there are sadhakas, siddhas, shishyas. Those things are there just for the understanding of your logical mind, so that you understand. However, internally, there is no difference, because Guru Tattva merges with the consciousness. Guru's consciousness merges with the consciousness of disciples, and it has always been one. That is why it is said that no matter where the disciples are reincarnated, they somehow find the Guru whenever the right time comes in. Now, at that point of time, at that juncture of time, it is up to disciple whether to accept and continue with the Guru or not. That again creates another patterns which continues for lifetimes. So every time a disciple is reconnected with the Guru, and a Guru also is reconnected. Guru is never separate from a disciple, like I said. So this thing was continued. And here is an even deeper point for the devotees of Muktananda tradition. Something that is not a matter of pride but of awe. If Shri Bhagwan had formally made a disciple, then Baba Muktananda would have been merely a chosen disciple. But because Shri Bhagwan chose no one, and yet Muktananda Baba was ignited in the presence of that fire, this is the proof of his own extraordinary spiritual practice and worthiness. It was not the selection, it was the worthiness. So it is always the worthiness and spiritual maturity of the disciple that helps, and because of which that disciple or sadhak becomes eligible. It's not that the Guru chooses, because the moment a Guru chooses, there is biasness, some sort of. But here, it is always about worthiness and spiritual maturity. That is why it is said, Shri Bhagwan Nityananda did not make disciples, but his presence made disciples. This difference is the glory of the Avadhuta. This was the greatness of those great souls. But did Shri Bhagwan truly give no one any responsibility? There is one more wonderful example here. Shri Bhagwan Nityananda wished that Shri Shaligram Swami would take care of the devotees, but Swamiji declined. He requested Mahasamadhi. Then what did Shri Bhagwan do? He placed Swamiji in 500 years of fire penance. The power of Ganeshpuri is still with Swamiji today. In subtle form, he continues to care for the devotees. You see, Shri Bhagwan gave no successor, yet arranged for an invisible protector. This is the way the Avadhuta works. No institution, no tradition, no throne, but a living force that flows forever from the subtle realm to seekers and sadhakas. Today, we have understood why Shri Bhagwan Nityananda did not choose a successor, because the Avadhuta state cannot be given. Avadhuta state is an internal state, because succession is born from desire. The Avadhuta is desireless, because his presence was not bound to a body. He always was, always is, and always will be. In the words of Chidakasha Gita, verse 52, there all is one. Beyond that, there is no duality. Shri Bhagwan Nityananda belongs to that beyond, where there is no before and after. His sun never sets. Om Namo Bhagavate Nityanandaya. Om Dhram Dattatreya Namah. Jai Shri Gurudev Datta.